everyone.
It's day 64, a business as usual.
With an asterisk.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when it's day 64?
I hope so.
Today we're going to talk about light bulbs. In fact, that's our theme this week. You have a fancy word for it,
bulbs.
though. Yeah, what's your fancy word?
Monsignor Haberger did several homilies about metanoia, conversion of heart. And I think that's what has to happen, not spiritually so much as a conversion of how we look at our business. And our theme this week is converting, changing. You want to call it light bulbs?
Well, how does change happen? You remember that old commercial? I don't know if you're old enough to remember this. Two kids sitting at the breakfast table looking at Life cereal. And one says, "Hey, what's this stuff?" And the other one says, "Some cereal. You try it." "No, I'm not going to try it. You try it." And they both look at each other and go, "Hey, let's get Mikey. He'll try anything." And
Right.
Mikey likes it, so they go ahead and try it. Well,
Right.
That's one of the two ways that transformation or conversion can come about. Somebody else leads the way, or you talk them into leading the way. You don't feel like sailing on the Nina. You're waiting for the Santa Maria to leave the dock. Or the other way is you become convinced this is the way to go.
That happened this week.
Yeah.
On one of our calls. One of our students said this: "Well, I finally did my listing presentation on PowerPoint. I didn't really have a choice. The homeowner was in Australia."
Oh, down under.
Yeah, so I didn't really have a choice. I couldn't meet physically. But here's what he said: "I discovered that I can do this. I mean, it went great. And I ended up getting the listing. And what that did is he proved to himself that he could do a listing presentation with anybody, follow his same Wickman steps, and get the listing without having to show up at the house."
Don't you love it that Floyd's already taught us everything we need to know?
I know, it's crazy.
What would you do if you had no choice?
Right.
And he had no choice, so he
Right.
led the way. Now, if you're in the position of being able to lead the way, fantastic. Thank you for doing that. But if you're waiting for someone to lead the way, look around you in our square. Look at all the people who have already made that leap. They've already stepped off into
Right.
the unknown and found out either steps under there or they got wings and they can fly. And you already know how to do this. So we would never suggest you go ahead and convert to virtual unless we show you how and give you some tips. So our first tip today is how to close for a virtual listing appointment.
Well, Floyd already told us how to close for the appointment, right? Ask. And so you ask, would it be possible? Could we? Do you like what you hear so far? Well, it sounds like you folks want to move. Listen, if you knew you could do it safely and get the most money right now for your house, would you at least be willing to meet with me virtually? So you set up the appointment. And Floyd's taught us that, we've been doing that. That's not the issue. The issue, or the point that has to be a little different with virtual, oh no, that's the same too, is you don't discontinue the conversation. You're having, let's say, a conversation over the phone or, 6 feet apart in a grocery store, and you book that appointment. Okay, Thursday, 10 o'clock, we shall meet virtually. And here's the tip, don't hang up. Don't walk away. Let's get all the information we need to pull our comparables before we hang up.
So, show me around the house mentally.
Yeah.
What would I see when I walk in the door? And they give you that virtual tour, which they've always been doing, to
Yeah.
create a gettable appointment.
Over the phone.
Floyd taught us that. That's the one-stop appointment.
Right.
And you do it over the phone, make sure all the ingredients are in place. Now, if I sent you a link via email, do you have a computer? You could click on the link and join me in a Zoom meeting, in a video conference.
Have you done that before, by the way? Well, tell you what, why don't we plan on about 10 minutes at the start of our meeting so that we can connect. Let's connect by phone to make sure you get into that Zoom clearly and easily if you've never done it before. By the way, that verbal walkthrough could also be done using FaceTime, right? You could have the seller bring their camera, carry it around, and you look at the house because we're not going to be at the appointment. So you could do that prior to the Zoom sit-down listing presentation.
Now, Floyd has been telling us for years that when you do a visual presentation, whether it's on screens or you're face-to-face, that you should be in control of what they see and what they hear and when.
Of course.
So, they're going to see something when you get together on the Zoom platform or one of the video conferencing platforms.
Oh, we should do like a tip.
What are they going to see?
Yeah.
They're going to see what's behind you.
Right.
Right? Now, you can put up one of those fake backgrounds.
Right, palm trees or whatever.
They have a tendency to be pretty weird and obscure certain parts of your head or
your
face,
fingers
or
and your movements.
Not a good idea. So take a look at what's behind you. Maybe get somebody that you know and love to do a Zoom conference with you and have them look at what's behind you in the background. Are there boxes, files, a mess, craziness,
lots of
people
stuff.
walking in and out? You know, it's important that your background not be a distraction and have a look that says, I'm a pro. I know what I'm doing.
That's a good idea. We should do a tip a day, Don.
A tip a day?
A tip a day.
I like the way that sounds.
If you're going to be using Zoom, you might as well use it like a pro, right? So we'll throw one of those in every day this week.
Stick with us. It's day 64 with business as usual.
Let's go get some appointments.